Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Laufenberg, and this is just a quick YouTube tutorial to show you how to make the friendship bracelets for our Unity Day project in Beta Club. So when you come to my room and get yarn, you will get something that looks like this. And what this is just a set of 5 loops that will make 5 different bracelets, okay? So when you're ready to start making your bracelets, you're going to need a piece of tape and you're going to need to cut this loop. So take your scissors and cut the loop and separate your 5 bracelets out. All right, so we're going to work with this one today. And the first thing to do is to tape that down so that it doesn't move and it holds tight for you. It's a lot less frustrating. Make sure you are using tape that is not going to ruin your mother's best furniture, because that will not make her happy. Speaking of mothers, also, your parents want to help you be successful in life, and they are going to want to help you do things. This is not something for your parents to help you do. If you want the community service hours, you do this project yourself. Don't ask your friends or your parents to help you make these bracelets, because you're the one that will get the community service hours, so you're the one who needs to put the work in. All right, having said that, once you get it taped down, straighten out all your strings, and you will notice that you have 2 short strings and 2 long strings. So you want to make sure that your short strings are in the middle, and your long strings, one goes on the left and one goes on the right. All right, so straighten it out nice and neat. And these 2 short strings that are in the middle will never move. They will stay in the middle the entire time. The string that's on the right will always be the string that's on the right. It never moves over to the left. And the string that's on the left stays on the left. It never moves over to the right. So basically what you're doing is you are wrapping the side strings, the strings on the left and the strings on the right, around the 2 strings in the middle. So the first step is to make like a number 4. You can see it makes a number 4. So you just lay your left string on top of the 2 that are in the middle. And then you're going to take the end of that left string and tuck it under so that it goes through that loop, this loop right here. Once you've done that, you're going to pull it tight. So you're tying a knot around those 2 strings. Pull it tight all the way up to the top. You don't want to pull it really tight or it will start to get twisted. So, but do pull it snug. Right? And then you're going to do that twice. Do the same thing 2 times. So you pull it up, nice and snug. Once you have done the left side 2 times, you're going to do the same thing with the right side. So this time, instead of making a 4, it's like you're making a P. So you just laid your right string on top of the 2 that were in the middle, and remember those 2 never move. And then you're going to tuck the end of that right string back into the loop right here and pull it tight. So you've basically just tied a knot around those 2 strings. Pull it all the way up to the top, snug but not too tight. And do that again. You're going to do that twice. Now watch these strings in the middle. Try to keep them straight. Try not to let them get tangled with each other. And that's another way to keep your bracelet from twisting. So this is the pattern. You're just going to go back and forth, 2 knots on the left and then 2 knots on the right, 2 knots on the left and 2 knots on the right, all the way until you have made a bracelet that is the length that you want. Now let me tell you how to decide. If you end up getting interrupted, you can tell where you were when you left off and where you need to pick up. So I'm going to show you how to tell that. So let's say that here I get interrupted, I have to go eat dinner or something. I can walk away from this and I can come back and pick up right where I left off. I can tell that the last string that I tied was my left string because the left string is lower than the right string. I can also tell that I've finished working with the left string because I can actually count 2 loops where I have tied 2 knots. 1, 2. So when I come back to it, I know by looking at that, I'm ready to pick up the right string, and I can just pick right up where I left off. Pull it up nice and snug and do it a second time. Once you've got the hang of it, it actually goes really fast. Okay, so this is what it's going to be looking like as you are working on it. Let's see if I can zoom into that and show that to you a little bit. So it's a really nice little pattern. It's not something that most people would object to wearing. And remember that you get an hour of community service for every 5 bracelets that you make. And that's a pretty good deal. All right, so let me show you what happens when you finish. So you have finished tying your knots, and the end product is going to look something like this. So down here at the end, I just stopped, and I still have 2 strings that are shorter and 2 strings that are longer. Yours might be longer, that's okay. So I'm going to take the 2 shorter strings and the 2 longer strings, and I'm going to tie them together. That's going to secure that down there at the bottom so that your knots don't come up. You'll also notice that there's a little bit of flexibility. So if you didn't make it quite long enough, you can always kind of smash down and pull down and lengthen it out a little bit before you tie that knot and make it nice and flat and straight. All right, now I recommend leaving it like this and then clipping off your strings so that they're the same length. And then this is what you will actually give to people to wear. And when they put it on their wrist, they can decide how big or how small they want to make it, which is kind of nice. So what they would do is they would just put the strings through. It's easier if you do it one at a time. It's also easier if you have fingernails, which I don't. So you put the strings through the hole at the end, and then you can tie it off and they can make it fit their wrist that way. So I got all 4 of my strings through the loop at the end, and then you can just tie it together. Easier said than done. Ta-da! And now you have a very nice friendship bracelet for Unity Day. So you can come by my room and pick up the yarn. It comes to you in sets of 5, and 5 bracelets equals 1 hour of community service for participating in the Unity Day Anti-Bullying Project. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.